Welcome back to the quarterback film room. We're going to take a look at a Senior Bowl quarterback, Nate Peterman. 6'2" he stands. He's 225 pounds. He played at Pittsburgh in 2016. Now his offensive coordinator was Matt Canada. For those of you who know who Matt Canada is, he's an elite college offensive mind who has a tremendous amount of passing game experience at the Division I level. He is LSU's new offensive coordinator. So he's a very high-level passing game mind. He coached Jacoby Brissett a couple years back at NC State. He had an opportunity to coach Peterman at Pitt in 2016 with Paul Chryst. Now, Peterman, as I've been able to watch him a little bit on tape, he kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers coming out of Cal with us not as strong of an arm. Okay, let's just make sure that we understand that. But stylistically, how he holds the ball, how he makes throws, how he moves, the quickness of his release, as we see right here, him rolling out, kind of reminds me of an Aaron Rodgers from 2003. Okay. Now, arm strength is not a staple of his game, but he does have the ability to get rid of the ball pretty quickly. He also kind of reminds me of a Cody Kessler. He's similar to Cody Kessler as well, size-wise, release, system that he played in. He has really, really good feet, too, from under center. He has an innate feel on how to step up in the pocket, how to really get his body in position to throw right now. So he's a refined quarterback in that sense. So he's a guy who he's down in Mobile. He's got a big opportunity this week to impress. And if he can impress, he's a guy who could really help himself because the quarterback class isn't that deep. I shouldn't say that. It's fairly deep, but there's not a lot of top-tier guys heading on into late January here. A little backstory on Nate Peterman. He started his collegiate career at Tennessee. So he went down to Tennessee. He was competing with Joshua Dobbs for that role. Ended up not getting the job. Transferred to Pitt. And the rest is history. Right there, he gets the ball out of his hand quickly here, as we see from this camera angle. One step, the ball's out. A quick release. There's something. And then right there, you can see him really get the ball to his guy quickly. So Peterman does some things well. This is a throw that I want to take a look at. He's going to be under center. Peterman's under center. You're going to throw that over a backer with accuracy. So an accurate guy, but you can see even right here, the pass wanes a little bit at the end, which, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but he's going to have to be a system-fit quarterback. Whoever picks him or whatever team he ends up on, they're going to have to understand that he doesn't have a strong arm. So he's going to have to he's going to have to go to a system that will emphasize his traits or cater to what he does well. Because every quarterback has their weakness and their strengths. But Peterman's a guy who's accurate, number one. He's a winner, number two. And he's very, very football intelligent, number three. So he has those three qualities, which are paramount, really. But ultimately, somebody's going to have to buy into him. A quarterback-centric teams have to buy into him as we see him throw the ball really, really quickly there to his tight end. But he shouldn't be a guy that should just be thrown aside just because he doesn't have a rocket or he's not, a 4.4 40 guy. So, right there, he's rolling out, throwback screen, understanding of the game. That's where he's going to shine. That's where, hopefully he'll be able to show his worth this weekend in Mobile. So, again, we're not taking the whole season here on tape. We're just looking at one game, going through it, seeing what we like, maybe what we don't like. Sometimes he does, like on that throw, a lack of arm strength. A quarterback with a stronger arm probably would have gotten the ball to his receiver. But for those of you who watched Aaron Rodgers at Cal, does this not remind you of a Cal Aaron Rodgers? Well, look at this. This is Aaron Rodgers. But then he throws it, and you're like, oh, well, not quite the arm strength, but very similar to Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so basically here we see Peterman go from 1 to 2 to 3, and then he tucks. So nobody's really open. So it's not like this was all on him. Nobody's open. The only thing I say here is maybe you run it now as opposed to waiting that extra. Because it's 3rd and 6. They're going to play coverage on all your receivers. Maybe you make the decision right now. You realize, okay, now I'm running. But he waits and waits. Run now. This is a throw. This is a good throw here. He's going to get out of the pocket, and he's going to throw on the move across his body. But you can, there's just something about it. I mean, I like the throw. I like the ability to throw without his feet under him. I like his release. I even like the accuracy, but there's just something a little bit quirky about it that's a little bit off. But it's still a good throw. You know what I think it is? I think it's where he holds the football. He's got that high carriage. He's a natural thrower, Peterman is, but he's got that high carriage. Maybe that'll be something that'll be corrected or modified when he gets to an NFL team. Now they're in the red zone. He sort of telegraphs this throw. He definitely telegraphs this. If he would have glanced hard to the right and then quickly came back to his left, he could have completed this for a touchdown, but he telegraphs it. His eyes go right there pre-snap. So there are some holes in Peterman's game, but I feel like he's maybe a slightly, and not by much, but just a tad bit worse than, say, a Cody Kessler was last year. But that's his comparison, I believe, is Cody Kessler. But he does still have qualities. Now, Cody Kessler got drafted pretty early, and he ended up starting. So let's not just write Peterman off and say, oh, well, he's a poor man's Cody Kessler. There is no place for him. No, that's wrong. There's a place for him in the NFL. It's as a backup or to try to develop into a backup. But this throw right here, touch over the receiver's shoulder. Now, that's a great throw. So keep an eye on this guy. He's down in Mobile. See what he does this week.